Welcome back to Views with Hughes Culture and News. This is Jerome Hughes. Now, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, DCU co-boss James Gunn and his take on Superman Legacy is catching the attention of many. Now, James Gunn, the man who brought us Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad was terrible, is now at the helm of one of the most iconic characters in American culture, as you all know. But let's not beat around the bush. James Gunn is playing with fire right now. Now, Superman is just not any superhero. He's the superhero. And James Gunn's approach with James Gunn's decisions and James Gunn's, overall strategy for this movie raises a ton of red flags, at least for me. But James Gunn has already conducted a test screening and is now moving on to a second one. Now, you heard me correctly. James Gunn isn't just tinkering with this movie. James Gunn is apparently still trying to figure out if it even works, okay? And here's the thing. If James Gunn were truly confident in his vision, would James Gunn need so many test screenings? Now, I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but test screenings are supposed to be about, fine tuning. But with James Gunn, it feels like these are more about damage control. Hopefully, I'm wrong. But who exactly is attending these test screenings? Well, James Gunn hasn't really clarified whether these are diehard fans, Superman fans, or just people James Gunn handpicked to avoid criticism. Now, if James Gunn is only showing this to his inner circle, then James Gunn is making a huge mistake. Now, Superman belongs to the fans, and we all know it doesn't belong to James Gunn, not to the studio, and certainly not some Hollywood echo chamber. But if James Gunn isn't getting real, honest feedback from people who care deeply about this character, well, then James Gunn is setting himself and this movie up for failure. Now, it's also clear James Gunn has been pretty vocal about why he uses test screenings. Back in October, James Gunn was asked if, Joker 2 had test screenings, and James Gunn said, yes, I use test screenings as a way to make films better. I think they're helpful as long as you aren't slaves to them. Okay. All right, James Gunn, we hear you, but here's the thing. If James Gunn needs test screenings to, figure out what works in a Superman movie, then, well, maybe James Gunn doesn't understand Superman as well as he thinks he does. Now, we're going to all have to be honest here. You see, James Gunn has also said that test screenings help to identify what works and what doesn't, and where audiences might get confused. Confused about Superman? I mean, come on, James Gunn. This is Superman we're talking about. And he's, usually a straightforward all-American hero who fights for truth and justice. He's not some complicated anti-hero with a dark backstory. Now, if James Gunn thinks that Superman is confusing, well, maybe James Gunn is overthinking things, or worse, maybe he's trying to go ahead and reinvent the wheel when it doesn't need any reinventing. But we're going to have to also just basically fast forward to the events of now. You see, James Gunn is out here claiming that the first test screening for Superman Legacy was great. Of course, James Gunn is going to say that, but what else is James Gunn supposed to do? Admit it bombed? Now, James Gunn knows how to play the PR game, but let's be honest. If this guy right here, James Gunn, thought that everything was perfect, would he already be rushing to a second test screening? It feels like James Gunn is just basically scrambling, trying to just reassure himself and us that he's on the right track. Now, James Gunn even appeared on a newscast recently to basically talk about this second test screening. But James Gunn said that he's really excited about it, that he's about to go to do another second test screening after this one, and he's excited about it. Now, James Gunn went on to say that he knows he's making the right movie when he's excited to show it to an audience. But here's the thing. James Gunn has also admitted that sometimes he's more scared than excited. Well, maybe James Gunn should be scared, because if James Gunn messes this up, it's not just his movie that's at stake. It's Superman's legacy, possibly, for the DCU, even under Warner Brothers. Now, James Gunn has been teasing us for months with a trailer, and the rumor has it that James Gunn will drop his first trailer on Christmas, probably attaching to Disney's Mufasa, the Lion King movie. Now, that's a calculated move from James Gunn, trying to go ahead and piggyback on Disney's family-friendly audience to generate buzz, especially a movie that's going to flop. But here's my question. Why is James Gunn playing it safe? Why is he playing it so safe? And if James Gunn truly believed this movie would just believe in this movie, James Gunn would have dropped the trailer. Now, the fact that James Gunn is waiting so long makes me wonder if James Gunn is actually trying to hide something. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But there was also speculation that James Gunn might unveil the trailer at Brazil Comic Con, also known as Brazil CCXP. But James Gunn quickly shut that down. You see, James Gunn confirmed that neither he nor the DCU co-head Peter Safran would attend. So once again, James Gunn is keeping us in suspense, and it's classic James Gunn, always controlling the narrative, always keeping fans at arm's length, while James Gunn pulls the strings. Now, James Gunn's Superman Legacy is set to hit theaters on July 11, 2025. Now, that might sound far away, but in James Gunn's world, that's practically tomorrow. Now, James Gunn has cast David Cornsway as Superman and Richard Brosnan as Lois Lane. Fine. I mean, those are decent choices, but when James Gunn went and cast Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, I mean, is that the best that James Gunn can do? Now, Lex Luthor is supposed to be a towering, menacing villain, a character who can go toe-to-toe with Superman, and James Gunn thinks that Nicholas Hoult can pull that off. I mean, that's a bold move for James Gunn, but I don't think necessarily a smart one. But here's my real issue with James Gunn. You see, Superman isn't just another superhero. Superman is a symbol, the representation of hope, integrity, and the best of what American can be. And James Gunn has a history of turning characters into wisecracking, self-aware caricatures. Now, yeah, that worked for Guardians of the Galaxy, but this is Superman here. Now, if James Gunn turns him into another snarky postmodern hero, then James Gunn would have completely missed the point. I mean, we already seen one actress say that Lois Lane is going to save the day, or save Superman. And James Gunn's track record showed that he can handle quirky, offbeat characters, but Superman isn't quirky or offbeat. Superman is larger than life. And if James Gunn doesn't understand that, then if James Gunn thinks he can treat Superman the same way he treated the Guardians, then James Gunn is in for a rude awakening. Now, I'm not saying that James Gunn doesn't, have talent, but clearly James Gunn knows exactly how to craft a compelling story. But James Gunn also has a habit of injecting his own style into everything that he touches, whether it fits or not. And when it comes to Superman, James Gunn's style might not be the right fit. You see, Superman doesn't need James Gunn's irreverence or James Gunn's obsession with quick dialogue, but Superman needs a filmmaker that respects the character's legacy, and understands what makes him timeless. And quite frankly, I'm not convinced that James Gunn is that dude to do that. So, yeah, what do you think about all this? Are you buying into, James Gunn's vision for Superman, or do you think that, James Gunn is in over his head? Now, as usual, we need to hold James Gunn accountable, because if James Gunn doesn't deliver, it's the fans who will suffer. Now, Superman does deserve better than to be like a guinea pig for James Gunn's ego, but let's hope that James Gunn figures out that before it's actually too late. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have on this particular topic. If you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button and share the video far and wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification so that way you're notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.